Hey guys, how you doing? A bit of a location change this time, but that's okay. With my next review coming up, I decided that maybe we'd review something a little bit more positive since I'm lying. This is the next of our Transformers Masterpiece figures, which is the MP-5 Megatron. If you're wondering why I skipped 2, 3, and 4, because 2 and 4 are re-releases of Optimus Prime, and 3 I don't have. But I'll review that mold next time I do a Masterpiece video. But anyway, so MP-5 Megatron, the official Masterpiece Megatron. I'm going to say right off the bat, I do love the Masterpiece packaging. I think it's really cool. So we have right there, image of Megatron, image of his Vault mode, MP-5 Destron leader Megatron. Destron is Decepticon in Japan. Side of the box, Transformers Masterpiece, MP-5 Megatron, MP-5 Megatron. The box, back of the box, Megatron. Here's a bio of him. If you can read Japanese, go for it. Shot of Megatron, him fighting Prime. Him with his sword and his blaster, which he used in Transformers the movie. Him with Crimzeek, some little goblin thing. His light up feature is alt mode. Contents of the box, a shot of his alt mode. On the bottom, there are other images of the MP3 Starscream and MP-01 Optimus Prime. So that's it for the box. Now, there is, if you're a fan of Transformers, you know how infamous this figure is. It is, to this day, considered to probably be the worst figure in the Masterpiece line. And if I can get my opinions away right off the bat, I'm inclined to agree. But let's talk about his accessories first. Here's the sword that he used to kill Optimus with. Not used to kill Optimus. He cut Optimus open with it. It's a nice sword. I mean, it looks cool. The gun that he actually mortally wounded Optimus Prime with. His mace, which is stupidly long. And then Crimzeek, little goblin thing. Now, he doesn't come with the stock or the scope that the gun's supposed to, like the original Megatron did. I mean, those were outsourced, and I know someone released them, but there you go. And unlike my Optimus Prime review, I will not be doing a comparison to the G1 Megatron because I don't own the G1 Megatron. So, here is Masterpiece Megatron in gun mode. And his gun mode actually looks pretty good. It's gigantic. It's huge. But, you know, it's not bad. It's big. And I'll show you that light up feature now. There's the button on this side. So, there you go. That's pretty much all the electronic functionality he has. But I cannot get mine to stay flush right there. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I mean, I got this used, so maybe that has something to do with it, but I followed the instructions perfectly, and I cannot get mine to stay flush. Though after this video, I don't plan on transforming him again. So, there you go. I mean, his trigger functions. Doing this on camera is going to be a nightmare. He was, for a time, he's not anymore, but at the time he came out, which was 2007, he was the most complex Transformer ever. And the problem was, and still is actually, if you're going to buy this figure, which you shouldn't, but if you're going to buy this figure, you got to be really careful with it because he is prone to breaking. So, just be careful with that. So, we're going to get to this scary transformation. I'm going to take my time with it. If I seem like I'm going slow, I'm sorry. I don't want to break it. So we're going to just go ahead and pull that apart. And just loosen all this up, because these down here are going to be his legs. And, oh boy. Just go ahead and straighten all that out. Ooh. Go ahead, get that straightened up. Fold these clips back there in. And then you can just pull the legs straight out. Fold that into place. Open this panel up. And rotate out the foot. And then you can open up the foot. Now mine, the bit of metal that is on there, because there's not a lot, and I got this at the box like this, because I got mine used. My metal's rusted, so he looks a little off. I mean, again, I'm not going to notice it too much, because I'm going to keep him on the shelf, but just be aware of that. So, these are on ball joints, so they'll come off. So once you plug that back in there, straighten this out, and there's a tab in here that's going to plug into that hole. So go ahead and do that, and then straighten that out, and there's a tab there, there's a hole there. Do that. Then you're going to do the exact same thing over there. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Transforming this guy, I mean, don't get me wrong, I normally like complex transformations. Like, if they're thought out well. This one just didn't seem to be thought out very well. And, oh boy. So, okay, legs done. We can focus on the top half now. So you're going to get all of this folded up and out of the way. Now the part that I hate. So open all that up. And you're going to turn this whole section around and just pull that up. You missed that completely. But that piece has got to go up. I had so much trouble doing that yesterday that I just wasn't paying attention to the camera. And that piece comes up. This piece comes out, straightens out like that. Now we're back here. Oh boy. So, separate all that. And now we can there you go, you saw that. So now we can collapse all that. Straighten out the legs. I'm sorry that I'm not getting all this on camera. I really am. It's just, this is one of those Transformers that if you don't get it just right, you actually run risk of breaking it. So I'm trying to be really careful. So now there's this stuff you got to deal with. So push that forward. I'm trying, guys. Alright, so you get these arms. Oh boy. Okay. I don't even know where that came off of. I don't know where that came off of. Anyway. That goes forward. These arms clip into place. Pieces are just falling apart everywhere. Okay. All right, I got everything back where it should be. Okay, cool. So, luckily these are just on ball joints. So, straighten that arm out. Take the ball joint out. And that can plug in there. Fold the clips in. I'm sorry, my dryer's going off. Open this up. And that's where the hand is. Oh my god. This toy does not want to be reviewed. And I'm knocking my camera over. I'm sorry. Oh, this toy's frustrating. So. So this piece comes down. That collapses in. And this should just pull up, but I always have trouble with that. Oh my god. So here he is. Masterpiece Megatron, and oh boy, does he look funky. So he's got those really thin legs. His upper body looks pretty good, but then his thin legs are just, why? His face sculpt, it doesn't look great, actually. Got the really thin legs. His backpack, you know, if you don't break it off. You know, he looks very weird. He looks very, very weird. His accessory-wise, you know, he's got the Crimson dude who can just be like, eh. Before we talk about this, let's talk about his articulation because it sucks. His head can turn full 360. His arms, full 360. He has an elbow joint. So it's actually a double elbow joint, but you can't really utilize it because how big his arms are. His legs can go forward and back. He's got knees. Actually, he has a double knee joint, but because how floppy he is, can't really utilize it. Just realized he comes with the gun, which I think is supposed to be Blitzwing's gun. And he's got a tab in his hand, so he can hold it actually pretty well. He holds his gun, he holds that gun better than Optimus holds his gun. I'll give him that. And then he can hold the sword, too. Which is actually really cool. Like, I do like that. The chain, I'm not going to put on because I hate it. But you fold his hand and it clips on there. Now, the accessory you would want him to hold, his fusion cannon, which slides on the same way. It's slid on in gun mode. Is huge. And is honestly way too heavy for him. Like, I don't think Takara realized how much this thing weighed him down. But, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think I've said all I can really say on this toy. Now, look, as a character, I love Megatron. He is a great, great villain. He's a really cool character. His design is cool. He's a great character. I love Megatron. I don't love this toy. Now, this is probably the worst of the Masterpiece line for sure. Size-wise, he is pretty much the same size as MP-1 Optimus, so he's a really big dude. But he only really fits with, if you're gonna get him, he's not super expensive anymore. He cost me like $120. But if you're gonna get him, you only get him to display with the original Masterpiece Prime, because he's not gonna fit with anything else. So I think that's it for this review. I am not a fan of MP-5 Megatron. I'm sorry. I don't like pumping out these negative reviews like this, but this figure is just frustrating. And look, I like complex transformations, but when your transformer can break because you're transforming it, there's a problem. I know there was one guy on YouTube, Diancis, he made this review years ago, but he broke his figure an hour after getting it out of the box trying to transform it. So that just tells you that the quality control on this figure wasn't anything to write home about. I haven't broken mine yet because I've been deliberately really careful with it. And I got this yesterday for two reasons. One, completionist sake. Two, I wanted to review it. So there you go. But like I said, it's not super expensive. You're gonna get him, only get him if you have MP-1. But if you want a Masterpiece Megatron, this isn't the figure to go for. That's all I'll say about that. Anywho, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch me bitch about a 13-year-old figure. And I'll catch you next time. Take care.